Start the play, 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 synthesize me, make me your love and hate machine. I can serve you better. Start to chill. Emotion skin. Till I'm no longer forced to keep my vital functions. Synthesize me and drape. I need to start again. I need to make it different. All unguarded, all without the will to play along. The numbers few child feelers. I'm home, alive. My skin intact. I am only staring at. I'm home, alive. My skin intact. I am only staring at the blade. Synthesize me, wash away the trash I'm piling up to mesmerize the moments. I'll drop the needle, my settings work, no stunted interactions, no doubts, no paranoia. I'm home, alive. My skin intact. I am only staring at. I'm home, alive. My skin intact. I am only staring at the blade. The blade. My skin intact. I am only staring at. I am only staring at. The blade. The blade. The blade.
Good evening. Not that I'm entirely certain there's anyone watching, but here I am anyway. We are back in the Dwarven Fortress of Keskalokil, where we've just installed a new version of Dwarf Fortress, in fact. The new version included in its release notes not very many interesting things, mostly bug fixes, including stopped babies born in fort from worshipping extra deities. I didn't even know babies could worship deities, but apparently they can. Or possibly they can't, but they did anyway. So Yes, there was a couple of crashes and a fixed issue where battering ram operators could get stuck in the ground when the ram turns, and like that would seem quite embarrassing. So yes, we've updated to Dwarf Fortress 53.03. Version 53 has brought with it some shiny new siege technology, which so far the goblins have completely failed to demonstrate, in that so far they have sent me one goblin thief. Who did successfully drown the elven emissaries bringing their tribute, before succumbing themselves to the pile of weapon traps here. So that was kind of amusing, and there's now one elf corpse in the drowning machine, along with a large quantity of goblins. So, what is going on? One thing that's going on is that we are trying to... Oops, I press all the wrong keys apparently. Put that back where it's meant to be there. Right, we are trying to organise our dwarves being any good with crossbows, because we think maybe it might be time to do that. So far none of them has done any practicing with a crossbow except to shoot giant hamsters, I think, or possibly other bits of the local wildlife. So that hasn't been a great success. We're also trying to get some magma up to the surface, because we've run out of coal, more or less, and like we can go and mine more coal, and indeed we will have to mine more coal, because you can't smelt iron without at least some coal. You can't just use magma to smelt iron, but it would be nice to need slightly less of it, and so I'm hoping to get my magma transporting railway working again. But we found that the wetter parts of the railway have become overrun with trees while we weren't looking. So we're having to now engage in some fairly complicated engineering works to make it possible to get at all of these sections, to reconstruct the tracks again, and ideally to arrange that they don't get wet again. And possibly to make it easy to access them in the future. So that's turning out to be quite an effort. Especially since we've drowned one of our two good miners. So yes, I'll just move my IRC around, which I can't do while talking because it's too complicated. Right, so that is going on here. We're trying to dig away this bit of wall, and then build some new walls, so that it's possible to get from this staircase to this section of ramp without what's the word I want, without getting wet, and without the water coming in and growing more trees on the ramps. That's the plan anyway. I don't know if it's going to work. We've also found some coal, but it's damp coal, so maybe we don't want to be putting effort into mining that right now. But we need to cut away this sandstone so that we can install more walls in order to keep the water from running down and making more of our railways wet. Because of course any bits that are wet will be prone to growing trees, and then that will break the railway. And it doesn't just break the railway, it also makes it difficult for dwarves to get in there in order to fix it. I'm also considering the possibilities offered by we could get in from there, can't we? Oh, that's slightly above the problematic area. It'd be nice if there was some access from below, but we haven't really got any. The only working bits of the fortress below are the railway and a very high staircase on the wrong side of the caverns. But yes, I possibly needn't have built across from that staircase when I could have built across from this, like 2 floors higher, which was one of our major chalk mines, I think, at some point for getting chalk for making steel with. So yes.
Does one need chalk to make steel?
It's a flux. I don't quite know what its purpose is, but it is essentially steel making, at least in Dwarf Fortress, and indeed I think iron smelting requires some kind of calcium carbonate stone. So like chalk, limestone, marble, or whatever.
What I really mean is I have no idea.
But I don't honestly know the chemistry of that bit. When we did iron making, we didn't seem to need anything much like that. Actually, did we? Maybe we did have some. I can't remember now. Maybe Claire can remember. So we need to improve this area to the point where it's maintainable, and we can send dwarves in there to maintain it. Oops. Oh, there's a multi-threading option. FPS has dropped below 50. Multi-threading may improve performance. Okay, have a go. I'm not sure I trust Dwarf Fortress and the concept of thread safety. Yes. The FPS is still low, and I'm not. The FPS has dropped 42, and we're paused. And now 50. I think the FPS meter's gone wonky. Let's try unpausing anyway. And it's paused. Why does it, the first time I unpause in any session, it always repauses very shortly afterwards? Okay, is this achieving anything better than we can usually achieve? Yeah, okay, we've stabilised at 21 FPS when running, which I think is better than we were managing last session. So yay, more of my cores are in use. That's going to toast my knees even more, isn't it? So yes, one question is anyone actually coming down here to help me mend this? Well, there's someone being followed by a leopard, but it's someone leaving to go to their individual combat drill. There also appears to be some hematite on the railway.
To kill my former lover, and it turns out no one really likes her very much.
So no one seems to be coming to do any of the digging that he's doing. My hope here is that this staircase will not get trees growing in it, even though it's muddy, and that therefore that one won't stop working properly. But like if it does, I think we can at least build staircases from either end, so we can probably put this back together again, if necessary. I wonder where that tame raven is that no one can find. We've lost one of our ravens, and not in an "it's probably dead" way. It's somewhere. We know it's still alive, but no one can reach it. Which presumably means that no, that's the wrong button. That the Tower of Keskalokil is one raven short. Yes. It's much below that, isn't it? Yes. So why are there no digging tasks? There are digging tasks scheduled. Okay, where are the digging tasks scheduled? Where are people actually going to dig? Are they all going and digging in my limestone mines? Is that the problem? That all my miners are mining the wrong place? I suppose I can look for them here, can't I? Where are you digging? Right, yes. Or mining coal. Okay, which like we do need some coal. But if you could come and mine the jet is technically a kind of coal, but we can't burn it in Dwarf Fortress.
Can you burn it anyway?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I think it is actually just a form of, just a kind of slightly posh lignite.
Okay. I mean, because like, wood or diamond's just a posh form of carbon. You can't really.
Yes, yes. They are not, they're a different allotrope. This is, I believe, jet is, I believe, actually just lignite, but shiny. Now we found some tetrahedrite, which is also not the most helpful thing. Someone has learning how to mine at least. That's nice. Apparently they're doing it somewhere other than on this layer, but I don't know where they are doing it. Maybe we should go and have a look. Thank God. This lignite seam turns out to be going quite a long way. Oh well, we can leave it for now, and see who else is digging. Where are they digging? You've become a miner. Right, you're digging a bituminous coal seam, and have discovered smoky quartz. Right. You're going a lot slower because you are currently learning how to mine. Satisfied upon improving mining, though. Look, I'm pretty sure we've got a temple to Erong. You could like go and pray there if you want. Oh dear, are we suffering the embarrassing we can't make coke because we haven't got any coke problem? I think I have systems set up to fix that, but well, I'm sure these miners will eventually finish this mining and come and do some more useful mining. Let's set a low priority auto mine task on that smoky quartz cluster. Let's not do it on the tetrahedrite. We will get that sard though. Actually, while we're there, we'll take out that those two clusters of turquoise as well. Oh, hell, we've just connected to the caverns.
Does that mean 5 forgotten beats again?
Yeah, if we're not careful. Why are you suggesting that? Is that because that already has a task associated with it? No, it's because we're not allowed to build things with lignite until I change some settings. I'm going to... Yes, thank you. We have found the caverns and hence struck all of the stuff that you can reach in that bit of the caverns. But we would quite like not to let the forgotten beasts in. So let's go and set lignite temporarily to able to be used for building, and then we can use some very nearby lignite for that. We should then not mine that square. No, not mine that square. Might take a little while before someone comes down here to do that building, but possibly we'll be okay. We'll see. Oh dear, a raven has got into a fight with a giant hamster and curiously has lost.
birds are, a raven has sharp bits, but on the other hand has to be light enough to fly.
Yes. I mean, actually, we could probably safely dig around this hole. I mean, we can't take out that square, but let's do a non-automatic, low priority mine out to here and see if there's more lignite that we can get. That square would be connected to the caverns, so we won't go there. Right, here's someone coming to build the wall. So all being well, that will serve to keep the forgotten beasts in their place.
Well, I mean, all in all, we could just put another brick in it.
Yes. I understand, I suspect that forgotten beasts have not yet learned how to use battering rams or knock down walls, so we should be safe. Right, that's now resealed. It looks as though maybe the diggers, though, have got distracted again. And are now both working on that bituminous coal seam. Well, we'll see what they find. They will at least get through it pretty quickly with both of them working on it. So that cinnabar, not very helpful. We do not need cinnabar. I mean, it's red, but not otherwise useful. Similarly, petrified wood, which I think is not coal. So yes, we will need this coal eventually. Oh, an animal has grown to be a stray blue peacock. That's nice. Okay, maybe our emergency charcoal making task hasn't fired properly. We'll investigate that later. But like to an extent, I'm actually quite happy with the situation where we temporarily stalled coke production, because that way we can save all of this coal for the necessary bits of steel making. Rather than using it just as a source of heat. This seam is going on a bit, but it's all good training. Oh, we have struck sapphire. Well, we'll have some sapphires then. Low priority, but mine some sapphires when you get a chance. By low priority, I specifically mean lower priority than my trying to make the railway work properly. Oh dear, someone is oblivious. We do try to keep them happy. Slightly. I think we've just found a join between this coal seam and another coal seam going in a different direction. So this is a goodly quantity of. Oh, well, is that an end? No, it's just surely turning north. Goodly quantity of coal here. This will keep us quite well supplied. We have struck brown jasper. Okay, we'll mine that in due course. Right, that's the end of that seam, so it presumably now runs southwards to like here-ish. All the seams in Dwarf Fortress are more or less the same size, which is probably not very realistic. That was quite broad. What are we running into there? Chert, yes, which we've also got some of here. I think the bauxite here is forming a cluster, a large cluster within the chert, and then the coal then forms a seam within the bauxite, or indeed passing through the bauxite. Right, our chief medical dwarf is going off to get food, while our newly minted miner, who has not yet learned enough medicine to be a doctor, is continuing with the mining. He's going a bit slower now because they're not very good at mining either. Getting better. Novice, okay, not much better. Oh, I'm pleased that my waterfall is providing happy memories. Getting the impression there might be quite a lot of digging to do down here. Yes, that's fine. We don't mind things being cancelled for lack of refined coal for now. We will fix that later. Yes, I think we've bought everything they want. Oh, you're going off for a drink, are you? Okay. That's fine. We'll allow that. So there still doesn't seem to be anyone practicing in this archery thingamy. Even though it does, I believe, have it's got 2 squads assigned to it for training, the Oceanic Calm and the Fountains of Gravel. Are they also assigned to this place? No. So what are their schedules? One of them set to constant training and one of them set to off duty, and you might hope that one of those was appropriate for them to go and practice with their crossbows. It's kind of confusing. I could try depriving them of their melee weapons and seeing if they become more useful then. Lots of people not doing anything very useful here, aren't there?
Well, someone's praying to Elrond.
Yes, yes.
Is not the person who was concerned about not being able to, because that would be too convenient.
I mean, there aren't many jobs to do in this fortress, to be honest. We're a bit, because we've tried to set things up suitably for a fortress of 30 people.
started food production, we shall see.
Yes, well, I have the numbers here, and they're not currently a problem. So the tricky area is, yes, only very slightly below the current coal mining. So I presume that they will fairly shortly come back and do some more digging, unless they decide to go and sleep, of course. No, apparently they're going to store items in bins. You're a miner. How about you come and do some mining? Oh, right, you're storing the flagon in a bin. That's fine, and we'll allow you to have a little bit of socialising. Right, excellent. And now you're coming to remove a construction.
That was very rapid socialising.
Well, yes.
Just sort of paused in the corridor to go, hey, that's something, and then carried on.
Where are you going to remove a construction? I mean, I thought we needed you to go like down the railway, but you're not even slightly going in that direction. I'm now wondering what construction you're heading to remove. Oh, there's a staircase here, is there? What's that staircase doing? I'm sure I built it for some good reason. Did I build it just to get down here? Surely not. Right, so that's now connected that staircase to the ramp on this level. So we want to insert a wall here, which may as well be built from the piece of sandstone that was just dug out of it, which curiously will be more impervious to water when the oh, and that one's ended up with one too. We should actually suspend that one briefly so that we don't build these in the wrong order, because that will be annoying. That one can now be constructed. And yes, we'll wait for this lot to get dug out, and then we can wall this in a bit as well. Temporarily forbid and unforbid this so that we can build with it. But then that one will have to be built out of something that will be brought in from elsewhere, so we probably want it to be blocks of some sort so that they're reasonably light. quite sure why we're digging out so much here. Oh, I suppose this is in part because we didn't expect a lot of this to be so impervious to water. So like, because these three are not sandstone, they won't actually leak. That square will leak. And that lot won't because it's all bituminous coal. So if we just build a pillar here, that should actually be enough to seal off this room, because the rest of its walls are made of coal, which is impervious anyway. Right, so that means that now all of those floors have the staircase having access to the railway ramp. And so we should be able to also construct adequate, we should be able to thus reconstruct any bits of the railway that need reconstructing. We might need more later, but let's not worry about that for now. So that's fine, that's fine. Are all the tracks actually in place now? So that's upward track, north, south, downwards, upwards, downwards, upwards, downwards, upwards. In theory, downward tracks only exist because of an upward track below them, but I get the impression that doesn't quite work when things are getting destroyed. Ah, there we have another broken one, right. So we're going to want to get the staircase a few levels deeper. So that we can fix that. So let's go up to a higher priority. So this level, we don't need to worry about water leaking in, except when it comes down from above. So I mean, actually, it would probably be more useful if we're going to do this to run, given that we have an inward corner, given that we're going into a little loop, let's build the staircase on the inside of the bend. Not that far, that's too far. We go to there, then we can safely just build a downward staircase from there, I think. And then from that staircase, I think we can construct a new one there. And it doesn't really matter if we have to dig out a bit more. Sarvesh Kadolzeg has grown to become a turkey gobbler. That is not someone who gobbles turkeys. Are you building a thing? Oh, good. Right, so that floor should now be sealed, because while it might look like that square of sandstone is connected to the to this space, it actually isn't, because aquifers only work orthogonally. That wall still needs to be built. But, oh, it's got suspended. Let's unsuspend that and try to work out why. I think this floor is now properly sealed, and those are the only floors of aquifer. And now we just need to deal with the consequences of those aquifers having flooded much of our railway. But we shouldn't need to expose any more aquifer on those levels. I mean, unless I decide to go coal mining here, which I might.
So these trees on the railway, if, do elves get annoyed if you cut them down?
Simon asks, will the elves get annoyed if we cut down the trees on the railway? I think they won't, because they are young trees, and possibly also because they are underground trees. I don't know if the elves even realise that trees grow underground. I mean, they're not really trees, they're fungi. So I kind of hope that the elves won't notice. Have you gone off to mine again? All right, yes, because that was actually, I'd accidentally set that at quite high priority. I could stop it, but like, as I say, we like coal. Coal's good. Right, now I've got distracted by going back to the staircase again. It might be quite a long walk. Maybe I need to build some more connecting tunnels. I'm going, how does this all connect up then? How are you going to get there? The dwarves, of course, understand the connectivity of my fortress much better than I do, which is possibly not a good thing. It's the everything connects through the wine cellars situation, I think. Or are you actually going to have to go up further? I mean, if it does require using that outdoor... I think it must require using that outdoor staircase, which is kind of weird. I don't even know what its purpose was. Oh, maybe it was actually a deliberate cavern breaching staircase, given some of that faffage there. Okay, you're doing this in a curious order. I mean, I suppose a lot of that staircase, yes, is going to be accessible anyway. So you, yes, may as well do it from wherever you can conveniently get to. Which turns out to be somewhere slightly odd. So does that mean we now have... So that one also doesn't have a ramp on it. Neither does that one. Right, we need to go down another level then. No, that was the wrong button. Now I need to say no. That staircase there now needs to be made into an up-down staircase, so that we can get a bit deeper. Oh gods, have you worked out how to get to here from some other direction? That's going to take you forever. Oh well. Meanwhile, we can get at this staircase, this square. So I think we should then be able to build a ramp there. Oh yes, I should also turn off non-economic use of lignite again. Why is that downward slope unusable? I don't understand that. I mean because I'm still trying to construct that. Okay, yes, brains. I can do this really. We could probably just build that one out of the tetrahedrite itself, but we'd have to then say that we've got plenty of tetrahedrite. Say that tetrahedrite is temporarily not an economic stone for these purposes.
We have enough tetrahedrons.
Yes. Then I can just go.
I must admit that this notion of deciding what is or is not an economic stone is making me think of the golden friction fiscal policy.
It does make me also think of you have the economist stone, the philosopher's stone.
Right, so we'll need a ramp there as well, so that's that done. Right, so now we have a ramp there, and now we need to sort out constructing possibly carving. I don't know if. Well, we can try it, can't we? If we go. Actually, did we? So elsewhere have we We have managed to carve some of these. Let's see what's going on. That one is track. But that one, which is entertainingly on the corner, is not yet track. So if we go carve a track in the floor, starting from there, going to there, why can I not? I don't seem to have the ability, when I click on the end of the track, it doesn't seem to go, oh yes, that's what you meant. That's kind of inconvenient. Let's give it one more go. Maybe I have to smooth it first? No. I think it doesn't work on block ramps. I mean, also that ramp, of course, there doesn't exist, so maybe that's part of the problem. Let's wait for the for this layer to get built, which is going to involve a dwarf taking an enormously long route to get to the wrong end of this staircase. Actually, that square there also needs a ramp building on it, but let's get the staircase dealt with first, because otherwise we're going to have yet more people running around unnecessarily long routes to get things done. So, yes, I think our poor staircase carving dwarf is somewhere very deep now coming up the railway all the way from the magma mines in order to eventually reach the other end of that staircase, which they could have done much more easily if they just mined the top square of the staircase first.
Dwarves are very good at climbing stairs. I would not be that good at climbing stairs.
It's not stairs, this is a sloping rail. This is a railway with a gradient of like 45 degrees. Yes, you might think they would get tired eventually, but no. Some things are tiring, but climbing stairs is not one of them.
I mean, I suppose they are evolved to do this sort of thing.
Right, so that's that staircase sorted. So now we can request a ramp on this level. There isn't any convenient rock there. So we'll carry on with the now quite small number of gypsum blocks we've got available. I'm sure someone will get around to building some more blocks soon. So that ramp is now constructed and that ramp is now constructed. Yes, I don't think I can build a carved ramp into that. So now we're going to have to lay some rails. So let's wait until the this ramp has been built. Here's someone building it right now, probably. So they can get that spare shoe out of the way. Not to mention a grizzly bear and 2 cats. Okay, that apparently got suspended because it was unreachable for some reason. Is that staying? Well, in that case, let's make sure it is reachable by opening up that square. I mean, maybe it will turn out that it is reachable, or now possibly someone is now going around the wrong side of it in order to fix it. Okay, you're going around the right side of it. Well, we'll see if you can manage to work out how to build it then. Okay, maybe we don't actually need to dig out that square then. Right, so now we should be able to build some track, which we will run from there up to, I can't quite remember where. And we may as well make it out of like, well, apparently you've got bronze more nearby than copper. Let's build it out of bronze for no good reason. So that one already has track underneath it, so we can cancel that square. That square will then end up in the correct direction, and it's currently only on a slope. That one will end up in the correct direction, and is currently only on a slope. That one will end up in the correct direction, and is currently only on a slope. And that one is unnecessary because there's already a track there. Right. So now, all being well, people will turn up with quantities of bronze and fix this. Hooray! And then we can try moving some magma around, and maybe setting up some more grizzly bears. Hoping to get to the point where we can, I think we dealt with that one now, where we can, more migrants. I mean, kind of good, but kind of I need to start polishing some more bedrooms. Right, here they are. They're going to have a rather long way to come in because we've got the west gate closed at the moment. Talented suturer. Slightly surprised that hasn't given you a proper role. Right, so what's our situation with regard to the military? I think new arrivals get placed in the silent smiths. Yes. While they learn to swim, and then we put them into another squad for long-term what's name. Another talented suturer. You're a talented beekeeper. Oh, I think I even have a role for a talented beekeeper. Let's have a quick look. We've got one of these is beekeepers. Right, you can join our beekeeping task force, labour force, whatever. Or not so interesting. I suppose I should technically check that they don't already know how to swim, but I rather suspect they don't. No. 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 It's purple, that's suspicious. Oh, you're an administrator. I was expecting you to be a doctor. Oh well. Not much of a swimmer, not actually much good at anything. With good armourer? No. Nor can you swim. Got 5 moderately unhappy dwarves. We might want to fix that. Is that everyone? That's a nice... Well, I mean, I would have actually liked slightly more immigrants because it would be nice to be able to fill the silent smiths, but... Oh dear, is someone rotting in the... I'm a little worried by the fact that the miasma's getting out here. Oh right, you're not actually one of our locals, are you not? Well, we'll dump your corpse in order to stop it rotting down there. You'll wonder quite how a rotting visiting dwarf has ended up in the depths of the catacombs. Oh, well maybe you are one of ours. Who are you and why are you dead in the catacombs? I mean, okay, the catacombs are a perfectly sensible place for you to be dead. I can't really object. All right, you have been rotting there for a while, so you may not be entirely new, but I am slightly wondering how your corpse ended up there. That might actually mean that we aren't going to, that we don't need to dump you. Maybe you will get automatically buried. Though I'm kind of concerned that a burial job should have spawned for you. Both of you. I presume we're not yet at the point where we've run out of. We are at the point where we have a bunch of coffins that are not actually part of tombs. Let's just grab a bunch of those on general principles. So that will mean that we're now sure we've got. Right, okay, apparently we had actually filled up all of our tombs. Have we got any spare doors at the moment? Because we have a lot of tombs whose only shortage is doors. We've got a few doors. But let's construct some anyway. It is slightly alarming how many dead dwarfs there are in this fortress now. And that's just the ones we have tombs for. We have corpses for, indeed. And it's nothing to the number of dead goblins there are. Well, actually, we've dealt with quite a lot of them. Why is that peregrine falcon cage forbidden? I mean, I'm not sure anything will happen with it because we have an excess of animal cages that we haven't bothered to train anything out of. Possibly the right answer is simply to release the animals. I mean, training them, I suppose, would have the advantage of de-agitating them. So, neither of those two appears to be agitated, so we could probably safely let them out. Right, so if we wait long enough, the newly arrived dwarves will go to their swimming lessons, I hope. Right, there's still one, so that square now has bronze track going south and east, and that one now has bronze track. Oh no, that's rock salt track, that's fine. That one has bronze track installed. That one is still waiting. That one has bronze track installed, east-west. And that then connects onto that rock salt. So there's a slight danger that that muddy rock salt will start growing plants. Similarly that. But if we have to, we should now be in a position to demolish and reconstruct all of that track, all of that muddy track, if we have to. If, for instance, something starts growing on it. Oh, it's a Fey mood. It's a Fey mood from one of our recent arrivals because they're not a doctor. Right, so yes, we're still waiting. Oh, it's done. Right. I was going to say we're still waiting for one of the tracks to be built, but they all seem to be present now. So that might mean that with a bit of care, we can start actually building. We can try sending. Right, good. Our moody dwarf has already started disappearing off into the distance to find some materials. Might mean that with a bit of care, we can now try manoeuvring this minecart to somewhere useful. So I think that's the steel minecart we generally want to use, though I'm kind of going a bit, it's annoying that I can't name it. Possibly I should have decorated it or something. No, that's the wrong button. Right, so the current situation is that that minecart is at that stop. So if we adjust, and it's, yes, that steel minecart. So if we adjust that, the conditions on that stop, I mean, we could just say push off west and see what happens. Let's try that. I'm honestly not quite certain what will happen, but we'll find out. Let's have a quick look at, is anyone digging at the moment? No. Let's have a quick look at the mines, at the extra coal mining here. So that mine is almost complete, except that we have some grey chalcedony there that wants mining. So let's just add that. Add a low priority auto mining job on that. That should be safe. We don't know of any caverns in that direction. Right, and that is indeed the end of that lignite seam, so we don't need to go any further that way. I mean, we could, there's some bituminous coal round there, but we've got a decent amount of coal out of that mine anyway. We'll go deeper if we have to, but save it for now. Right, minecart. Yes, that's what we want to pay attention to. Is there a task for pushing it yet? I'm suspicious that we have a place track vehicle task. Someone is coming to deal with this minecart, so we'll find out what happens. Don't know who. Now there's a danger I'm going to be embarrassed and it'll turn out there's someone standing on the track somewhere and they'll get crushed by it. Still, we still have plenty of doctors. I mean, we're really not badly off for those.
Have any of your new immigrants started learning medicine?
I haven't noticed any of the new immigrants learning medicine, which is a bit odd. Oh, well, I forgot to turn up my mouse pointer size and no one complained. Let's see if I can fix that. I'm not watching what's going on in the Dwarven Fortress. That doesn't help very much. Accessibility, seeing, cursor size, huge. Right, that's better. No one's moved my minecart yet. Bah. There's no one else. I thought I concluded that some. Oh, is it just that the task has been created, not that anyone has actually assigned to the task yet? Yes, that's what's going on. Okay, I won't bother watching it then. Right, there seems to be at least some quantity of new arrivals in the swimming pool.
This business of the task has to be created and then someone has to be assigned and then it has to be faffed about within tripping us makes me wonder if your dwarves are actually Vogons.
It's possible my dwarves are Vogons, yes. So now we should be able to close the drain. Unlock the door for a little while we wait for the drain to be sorted. Right, drain closed. So now we can lock that door and pull that lever. Oh, someone is just about to try to get in. Okay, unlock the door. Hope that.
Unlock the door, hope they do have blasters.
Right, lock the door again. Well, I mean, we can wait until the water comes in, really, before we lock the door.
Yeah, speaking of which, I was wondering about going home, but maybe I'll come back a little bit later. Yes. It's all fairly light and passing over in bits and pieces.
I would love to do some waterproofs, only I haven't got any. I've really got water projectors.
I only just realised that conjecture etymologically means thrown together.
Get into an eject, let's go first. And just that second.
Yeah.
Right, well, they can all now spend a little bit of time learning to swim. The water's a bit shallow, but they'll learn it. They'll learn to swim in any square that has at least 4 deep. So that should be okay. Oh, the minecart's gone. Right, where is it? Let's go in search of the minecart. There it is. Follow that minecart. Whee! Look at that. Minecart automatically filled with magma. And it has now stopped, waiting to be pushed back up the hill. Victory. Don't know if the pushing back up the hill will work properly yet, but Everything else appears to have functioned correctly. Right, and that cat's still alive. That's not very relevant. So now, does this system believe that the minecart is 100% full and at the filled stop? And at the filled stop, it should guide west immediately always, and it should go west and then what, Ben? And then what? Oh, it's that minecart we're interested in, isn't it? Not that minecart, which is forbidden because it's the wrong minecart. So it then gets guided west back onto that thing. Yes, so that should work. You will have noticed I set it to push off west immediately and not to ride west immediately. So we didn't end up with a surprised dwarf suddenly ending up full of magma. So now what we do need to do, though, is to arrange that when it comes back up to the surface, we won't immediately send it back down again before we've emptied it of magma. Don't know what we will do with it once it's up at the surface, but it does now appear that if you shove a minecart westwards when it's up here somewhere, it will correctly end up filled with magma somewhere underground, and then someone can come and bring it back again. So our moody dwarf still appears to be collecting bits. So someone has decided it's their job to push that minecart all the way back up again. I'm probably not going to watch them for very long because it's going to be an immensely tedious job. The amount of blood in that corridor is a little disturbing. That didn't work. The minecart is still where it was. And now this is confused. Why did that... That has a westward connection. That has an eastward connection. Did you just... You didn't cancel the task. You just went up to the minecart, gave it a brief nudge, and then wandered off again. I mean, that means you did think it could be guided. And like that does seem reasonable because you would push it west from there, and then south from there, and you would just keep going up the ramps. And like we think those are all connected now. And given that you gave it a guide task, given that you tried to guide it, you didn't just carry it. I mean, now we probably have an annoying place track vehicle task, which means someone's going to try to carry it up the stairs, which is no good at all. So we need to fix that. Which we can do by deassigning and then reassigning the minecart, which puts it back on that square. Yes, that's guide west immediately. It's not push off west or ride west. So, well, that presumably has now changed the tasks back to, that's still got a place track vehicle task. Well, maybe it'll cancel itself. Well, let's wait and see what happens. Because it should be treated as, yes, the assigned vehicle is at this stop, which is as it should be. I mean, obviously, with a lot of rollers, we could try to make it possible to mechanically shove the thing all the way up, but that would be really tedious to organise. So what's going on with our dwarf in a strange mood? Where are they? Oh, there they are. Still collecting equipment pieces for this. It's going to involve some sea otter leather. Oh, I think that's the full set of pieces they need. Sea otter leather, billen, oak, grey chalcedonies, raw green glass, billen, cherry wood. So they're making something out of primarily cherry wood, it looks like. So I'm a bit confused about this minecart. And in particular why it seems now to have spawned a place track vehicle job rather than a push track vehicle job. We've installed the extra doors down here so we can at least assign more tombs. And the 2 spare corpses down there have been properly filed away. Excellent. I mean, possibly the job didn't get cancelled properly when I deassigned the minecart. Let's temporarily forbid and then unforbid that minecart and see what task we get this time. Right, now it's got a push track vehicle task. That's probably a bit more sensible. We are continuing to melt copper in enormous quantities over here. We do have bins for it, but I think almost all of the copper seems to just get stuck in the smelter, which is a bit weird. So yes, here we are melting down. I mean, a decorated copper mail shirt. It has a rendition of the Hex of Onslaught, a well-designed image of two bloated tubers in rhesus macaque bone on it, but it's still not. It's still fundamentally a copper mail shirt, and also like that's the symbol of one of our enemies. So it's probably best to melt it down. So what's our... oh, it's halfway through late autumn, but it is also of order midnight. What's our war animals situation like? It's pretty good, given we could have all but 2 of each species there. So the leopards, yes, we have quite a few leopard cubs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 leopard cubs growing up, and a couple of grizzly cubs, 4 grizzly cubs, that will eventually be part of our defence system. Let's be brave and say we will put the war leopards, apart from 2, and the war grizzlies apart from 2 in there, because I think there's probably enough that they can eat the faces of at least a few goblins. Right, so, Id Adsazir, Id Sunbridge, the pointy handle. Is on the way to have another go at pushing this minecart. And it's set to guide west immediately. So the question is, why are they not guiding it? I'm going to at least single step through this and see if we can get a better idea. You've made a pick out of giant Kia bone. You weird person. We'll have a look at that in a moment. So you're now on the square with the vehicle. And you've suddenly gone to no job. You didn't cancel the job. But the vehicle has gone to confused state. How odd. let's repair the tasks and consider the situation. Possibly we should consider the situation regarding that minecart tomorrow. And instead investigate this object that's just been made. It is an artifact pick, but it is an artifact pick made of giant Kia bone rather than, say, steel. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality, though possibly the thinking behind it is not so good. It is encrusted with tapered baguette cut grey chalcedonies, studded with billen and encircled with bands of oak. On the item is an image of Slalsto, the Forgotten Beast, and Ome Mindeth, the Shaft of Hollows, the Forgotten Beast, in giant Kia bone. Slalsto is making a plaintive gesture. Ome Mindeth, the Shaft of Hollows, is striking a menacing pose. The artwork relates to the mortal wounding of the Forgotten Beast Slalsto by the Forgotten Beast Ome Mindeth's The Shaft of Hollows in shoot test in the late autumn of 118 during the rampage of the Forgotten Beast Slalsto in shoot test. On the item is an image of Lacey soaked, the iron battle axe, which is a much more sensible material, in cherry wood. On the item is an image of birches in billen. On the item is an image of spore trees in green glass. On the item is an image of an octahedral octahedron in sea otter leather.
An octahedron.
Yes, it is suggested that maybe I meant octahedron. An octahedron. So yes, that's an odd object. Seb says it's a shame that this new fortress is called Shoot Test when it's not the Ballista Fortress. Well. There have been changes in how ballistas work, and there is an entire new kind of siege weapon called a bolt thrower. So we could experiment with those. This fortress is more of a drowning bridge test. Well, yeah, that's the thing that seems to work. And swimming bridge. Look, these guys are learning to swim. Indeed, I think they may have finished learning to swim and we might be able to let them out. Adequate. Someone is trying to get in. Yes, so those four are now adequate swimmers. Right, have we got any space for them in the oceanic calm or the fountains of gravel? We have one slot in the oceanic calm. Let us stick Dacost in that one. We have no slots in the fountains of gravel, but we do apparently have a squad called something stormy and mountainous. The stormy mountainous magicians, which is fairly empty. So we could stick Erdim in there. And Kilob and Sarvesh. No, not that one. Damn it. That one. The other Kilob wants to go back into wherever they were. That will do. It may not have been quite where they were, but it'll be fine. Right, so that's that lot dealt with. Here's someone trying to get in, but they're likely to be a bit surprised if they try to open the door. So let us pull those two levers to let the water out and reset the filling system. Right, I think I'm not going to try to work out what's going on with that minecart tonight. It is after midnight and I would thus quite like to stop since not much is going on. And we've just got a ludicrous pick. So I think I will say good night here and we will come back on Sunday. So I should save the game and then say good night. Good night.